Hey, what's up guys? It's Sly from BNHA Cosplay. I'm here today to do a video on how I do my Deku makeup. I've actually done one of these before, but I've switched things up and improved on some things, so I feel like I want to do another one, so let's get started. First, after I wash and moisturize my face, I use face primer. This one is from e.l.f. and it just makes sure that everything goes on nice and smoothly onto your face. Next, I'll be taking concealer in a beauty blender or beauty blender equivalent and getting rid of those under eye circles because little baby Deku doesn't need those because he sleeps, unlike me. I also use this for highlighting, which is why I have one shade lighter than my skin tone, but if you're just going to use this for concealing any blemishes or whatever, just use one that's matches your skin tone. But I'm basically putting this in all of my highlight areas and then making sure I blend. Next is foundation. I use the CoverGirl Outlast 5-in-1 foundation, which I feel is the best for my skin since it is matte, but it still is pretty moisturizing and doesn't dry out my skin. So I basically put this stuff on the back of my hand and used my trusty beauty blender equivalent to put that on all over my face wherever I need to be covered. Honestly, the beauty blender thing is amazing for putting on this kind of stuff because it just makes you look flawless, in my opinion. Next up is contouring. Now this is a case-by-case basis. If you don't feel like you need contouring, then leave this step out, but I really like the look of it, so I'm going to be doing that. I use a cream contour from NYX, and they have a palette that I really like. The color of the contour is actually very nice for contouring and it's not too warm, which I really like. But basically, I usually use a small stipple brush from e.l.f. to apply cream contour, but I lost it, I still can't find it, so now I have to use a beauty blender, which I have been using for this entire video. But honestly, I really like how the result came out with the beauty blender, so if you can't find a small stipple brush to apply cream, anything, use a beauty blender. Trust me, it works really well. It deposits a nice amount of color and you can also build up if you need to. Next is also optional, but I like doing it. It is just contouring my eyes just to make them look a bit more rounded and big, like Deku's, because he's a sweet little baby. But again, this is completely optional. If you like your eye shape, then leave it the way it is. But I just find shading them in a little bit makes it look a little bit better, in my opinion, at least for myself. But I just use a darker shadow just in a neutral color just to make sure I can shade everything in the way I want to. And then of course a very important step is chapstick. You don't want to have chapped lips during your photo shoot or video. And the most important for our little baby Deku are his freckles. Now I did get this idea from Ishkali, who is an amazing cosplayer, way better than I am, but I will link her channel down below. But basically I just use a dark eyeshadow and a bobby pin and just poke those freckles onto my face. I like doing a lot of them just for a more natural look. Last step of the makeup is just to set it. I use a setting powder from e.l.f. It is the Poreless Pressed Translucent Powder. And then the e.l.f. setting spray, which I also really like just because it helps moisturize my dry skin. And I noticed with this combo your makeup does last a pretty long time, which is good for filming and photos. And here's a tip, if you feel like your skin is getting dry throughout your filming or photo shooting or whatever throughout the day, just spray yourself again with that spray and you should be good to go and refreshed and hydrated. Now it's time to put on your wig and bobby pin it down. I like to bobby pin my wigs down just to make sure that they don't fly off my head when I'm doing something, and it just makes sure everything is pressed down and you don't have little hairs showing from underneath your wig. I also like to floof it just to make sure everything's good and not messy or too messy for Deku. Another thing that helps to keep your fibers down, especially in the fronts, are to glue them with a glue stick. I learned this actually from a different video. I will try to find it and link it down below if I can find it, but it actually really works if you just use, a normal glue stick, and it keeps your wig hairs down against your skin so you don't see any of your hairs from underneath as well. And then the final touch is just some hairspray and more floofing. Any hairspray you want, really. And that's all you gotta do. So thank you very much guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!